change happens faster in a group coaching setting because it gives you access to other people. You're able to see other people's experiences. When people ask questions, you learn from other people. And when people do the thing that you want to do, it expands your capacity to see what's possible faster. Hi, my friends, and welcome back to episode 89 of the Blooming Podcast. And I'm really excited about this week next week because we're opening enrollment because I've had so many of you guys interested. I had a really short 24-hour Black Friday sale last week, and some people joined, and I thought it was so awesome to see new women in the program. But this is like the official opening and closing of Bloom. It's very limited, and I'm really excited. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit because Bloom is launching next week. I wanted to talk to you guys about the program, not about the program itself, but just about groups and group coaching, because I know that I have, before Bloom, was strictly a one-on-one coach. All of my coaching was done one-on-one. I believed with every ounce of my body that was like the best way to coach. It was the only way that you could do this work. And it wasn't until I launched Self-Made in March and then didn't do it that I learned how amazing group coaching is. And I want to kind of explain that to you guys. So all the coaching I've ever done, like that I've been a part of, that I've invested in, that I've paid and been a part of, has been group coaching. And the irony that all of my coaching had been one-on-one wasn't because I didn't think group coaching was good. I thought that this type of coaching that I do, that I help people heal from their past in order to change their future, was the only way that you could do it was if you did it in one-on-one. Or I believed that was the only way to do it because I had never done it. And so even though I had only gotten huge results in my life from every single program, I've done business coaching, dating coaching, sales coaching, and marketing coaching, all of those coaching, and I've spent like a lot of money, probably like $100,000. I don't know, a lot. All of it, I've gotten such great results, and it had all been done in a group coaching format. It's so ironic. It was like this belief I had was like the only way that you could do this work, it has to be done one-on-one. And I remember I made a podcast episode that said just that because I explained to everybody why I had a $100,000 launch and then canceled it. And mostly it didn't have to do with group. Now I realize it didn't, but it was because I wasn't supposed to do Self-Made at that time. It was a program that I felt like, pressured, like self-pressure into doing because I had so much demand. So many people were asking me to help them coach or learn how to become a coach that I created the program because I was feeling the pressure of the demand. But in my heart, it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing at the time. And so I canceled it because I knew that I was doing it from this place of lack, of fear, of pressure. And I just knew I wasn't supposed to do it, but I was ready to. And then I also did talk about in that podcast episode, and I'm going to link it here in the notes. I don't know which episode number it was, but it's why I had a $100,000 launch and canceled it, is I genuinely believe that the only way that I could do this work well was to do it in one-on-one. But since then, and even before that, I had begun getting training in a healing modality and like in a type of therapeutic modality. Not necessarily healing, but it's just a modality like that a therapist or a coach uses in their coaching practice. And I had been trained in it, or I was getting trained in it. And I remember thinking, the only way you could do this was one-on-one. And then I was using it with my clients, and they were getting such great results. And I was like blown away that you could get results by using this modality in one-on-one coaching. And then I thought, this is actually like a light bulb went off. I remember I think it was in April, like right after I canceled Self-Made. I literally had this like thought download that this is the modality that I would use if I did Trauma to Triumph, if I took it group. And sure enough, that is literally what we use in Bloom. And it's one of the modalities. It's one of the methods or frameworks that I use in Bloom to help people access their pasts and heal from them and literally undo the effects of them. And I was really shocked, and I've never been happier. Like it helped me see and understand that this work can be done in a group capacity. So I wanted to talk to you guys about, you could see by the title of this episode, is that change or healing happens best in community. And it's because of not only my overall coaching, but I've seen it happen with people that I've been in coaching programs with, and just now in Bloom, having done it for like the past quarter, seeing the results that my clients have gotten from never having done any type of this kind of work, and the results that they've had. I know that healing is, that this work can be done in community. So it makes me so excited. But I knew this going into this, right? I teach this work, and I've talked about this before on the podcast, that when you are in isolation, that is where trauma festers. That is where bad behavior or maladaptive behaviors that are keeping you stuck, where they just get even more stuck in your brain and in your body. So I knew that. And I know that when you heal best when you're in connection with people. And so I knew these concepts like theoretically, but applied, because I had never done it, there wasn't a way for me to really understand that it is best done in group. So I'm here to talk to you guys about why healing is really best done in community, and then just like how group coaching is different. So one of the main things that I have experienced myself just from coaching in Bloom, and then really getting so much of the benefits from Bloom, what I hear over and over is that the women in Bloom have felt so supported in the program, because not only are you doing this work on your own, right? Because there's Bloom curriculum. When you join Bloom, you get automatic access to the Bloom curriculum. You get automatic access to the Bloom Facebook group. So you're connected with people like automatically, right? And you're doing the curriculum. It's self-paced. So you can do it at any place that you want. But the group coaching calls, everyone's there together. And so is the Facebook group. And so everybody is on the calls, and we're talking about, wherever anybody's getting stuck in the program. I'm going over certain trainings and talking about my experience. Women in the group are talking about their experiences with the program itself, or just like what they're learning about themselves, and they're sharing really intimate things. What I've heard women say over and over is that doing this work with other women, you feel supported, because everybody in that group is really supportive. If you saw the comments like in the chat, if you see the Facebook community, when someone shares a win or shares a struggle or shares that they finally did something that they've never been able to do, the support and the community that rallies around you. People are meeting in person, because some of them like live locally to each other, or just like live in somewhat of a proximity close to each other. And the support that they're feeling both on the calls and in the Facebook group, they say they feel so seen and heard and understood by other people. That happens in their group coaching calls and outside of it, like if they make friendships. And that's one of the things that I didn't expect like people to like make friendships and then kind of like help each other out through it. That was one of the best things that I think is so helpful about the program, is that you make friends. And so you gain a new support network, which I think is so amazingly helpful. The next thing about healing in community or being in a group coaching program that's so beneficial is that you get to see other women doing and going through the same issues that you're going through. Why is that helpful? Well, mostly because you don't feel alone. You don't feel the shame that when you're in isolation and you're not talking about your problems to anybody, because let's be honest, we get shameful about it. When we're able to talk about it, and everybody there is dealing with mostly all the same things, like, not following through on their goals, really procrastinating, overeating, overdrinking, having these really insecure feelings, doubting themselves, not listening to their intuition, not feeling confident, really hiding and isolating, being really reactive in relationships, not supporting their children, not going after their goals, not making enough money, overspending, so many different things, right? But because everybody's talking about this stuff, and we're all going through the Bloom curriculum that helps you like be able to access and understand like what past events are contributing to this, like these stuck behaviors or these unhealthy behaviors, and then how they're undoing it. Everybody says that when someone talks about their experience, they say, oh my gosh, like the fact that, Sandra shared that and Anissa shared that and Michelle shared that and Mabel shared that. When they see somebody else share it, they think, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. Like everybody's doing, and everybody's going through the same thing. And you just don't realize how everybody's going through the same thing that you're going through. And so you feel seen. And what it does is it makes you feel less shameful. I believe that when you bring out like these quote unquote secrets out from the darkness and into the light, that in and of itself is so healing, because you see that like when I bring it out, no one's gonna hurt me. Nothing bad really happens, right? It's just, are you being vulnerable and is it maybe a little bit scary? It can be, but when you see that everybody's like, I've done the same thing, girl, and it's okay, that makes for such a beautiful experience, because it takes away so much shame. Everybody gets like an amen whenever they're sharing their story. It's so great. What are the other benefits? One of the other things that I've seen and that I've heard other women say is that they're learning from other women. So how are they learning from other women in the program? Obviously, I'm a coach, I'm a woman, I'm sharing a lot of my experiences, and I'm doing a lot of teaching and training on the coaching calls. But what they say that they're getting from the other women is that when they see other women doing the tough thing that they weren't able to do before, right? Like set a boundary, put themselves out there on Instagram and go live in a video, or break up with someone that they needed to really break up with, or finally move out or quit the job and start their new job. They are seeing that it's safe to do these like quote unquote risky things. And they're learning from other people and saying, well, listen, if it's possible for Michelle to do it, if it's possible for Julie, then and they're just like me. We're all the same. We're all literally like the same kind of person going through the same issues. Then it can be possible for me. So when you see other people doing the things that you want to do, you learn that it's possible, and they're actually using those experiences for themselves instead of against themselves, because everybody's so helpful in the group, right? They're not saying, well, it only worked for Julie because she's 25 and I'm 35, so it won't work for me. It's not like that. What it is because everybody sees themselves as like one or just like the other, that it makes it feel a lot more possible. So when you see other people doing the same thing that you want to do, it makes it feel like you can do it too. And that is so helpful, because if you're by yourself, you guys, not that one-on-one coaching is bad, because it's very helpful. I did it for 3.5 years. It's amazing. But doing this kind of work in a group setting, it has really opened my eyes, because I had never done this kind of work in a group setting. Like I have a therapist and I had like a one-on-one coach, like to do this kind of work. I had done it one-on-one, but I had never done it in a group. And when I was able to see it, and listen, you guys, when I created Bloom, I had so many thoughts and stories and predictions and fears about what I thought it was going to be like to create Bloom and make it a group coaching program. Because all I've ever seen, my only story was you only can do this in one-on-one. So when I was creating Bloom, I was so scared. I was like, it's not going to work. I'm going to hurt people. No one's going to share. No one's going to be open. I just had so many stories. Or when someone does talk, are people going to judge them? All the same thoughts that honestly that I had about myself when I was going to go into a group coaching program. And so because the other coaching programs, a lot of them were all business oriented, I thought, well, you could do that in business, because there's like no feelings in business. But there's are you kidding? Like there's so many feelings in business. They're all built off of people, and we all have emotions. So business is personal. It is emotional. We just have been told to separate it, but it's not true. And so I had this belief that like group coaching only works in a business aspect, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. Group coaching works for personal issues, because you are in a group with other people and you're all going through the same things, and you're all trying to go after the same thing to have the same result. And when you see other people doing the same thing, having the changes and seeing that it's possible for other people, it helps you so much. It grows and expands like your capacity for what's possible. And when you can see that other people are doing what you want to do that are just like you, it opens you up and says, this is possible. Now I just have to do it. And that's what I love about group coaching. So those are like my top things, like my top reasons for believing that group coaching is such a good alternative not alternative, but like honestly, it's the best way to learn. It's the fastest way to learn. And here's why. If when you're by yourself with a one-on-one coach, again, not that it's bad, because one-on-one coaching is great because it offers privacy, right? And it offers really focused, private attention. But you get attention and you get one-on-one attention with a coach in a group setting. It's just not private. People are just watching and they're there. But when you'd be surprised, you guys, when everybody wants to like coach with me, let's say when on a group coaching call, when we're coaching with me, it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, everybody's watching. I know I probably did it initially. And the second somebody was vulnerable, which is like the first call within like the first couple of minutes, the second somebody's vulnerable, you're able to see that like, oh my gosh, this is a safe space. It is great. And it's not that one-on-one coaching is good or bad. Both are good or bad. It just depends on what your needs are. But I believe that if your needs are to get there faster, it's going to be in group coaching. I really do believe that change happens faster in a group coaching setting. So if you're working with a coach and you want change faster, I'm going to recommend group coaching for you time and time again. It's because it gives you access to other people. You're able to see other people's experiences. When people ask questions, you learn from other people. And when people do the thing that you want to do, it expands your capacity to see what's possible faster. And the benefits of that are exponential and super, super valuable because you wouldn't have seen that if you were just by yourself. That's like my push for group coaching. Those are my experiences. And that's obviously all the women that are in Bloom. It's over 30 women that are in Bloom right now. But I want to show you guys, I want to talk to you guys about some neuroscience because you guys know that I come with the neuroscience. I always back it up with research because I study the brain and body because you have a brain and body, you are human. And if you aren't able to do the things that you want, it's only because your brain and body aren't functioning at its highest capacity. So I always study the brain and body to understand why things aren't working. Okay. So let's talk about groups and connecting with people and why it's easier for the brain and body when you're in a group. So there's this theory called social baseline theory. Basically what it says is that people feel more resourced, internally resourced, so they feel like more mental and emotional and physical capacity to do something if they're in community. Why is that? So in social baseline theory, what they did was they took a woman and they put her at the base of a hill and they had her stand there by herself with someone and then with somebody that she knew. And each time they asked her to basically judge how high she thought the hill was or how steep it was. And when she was by herself, she viewed the mountain as really steep. She predicted that it was really high. When she was standing next to somebody, she predicted that it wasn't as steep. And then when they asked her again, they put her in front of the hill and they asked her when she was next to somebody that she knew and that she felt safe with, like somebody in her like world, how steep she thought the hill was, she predicted it as so much less steep. And here's why. The body and brain predict, or they take social resource, so another person, as bioenergetic resource. So what does that mean? We think that when we are connected with people, we have more capacity to do more. Things feel easier. We have more strength. We have more knowledge. We have more physical capacity. So why is that? It's because when you have two people doing something, a task that can be difficult, when you have somebody next to you doing it with you, your body automatically feels a sense of relief and that it's being supported with the other person. And I want you to think of doing something really hard. If you do it by yourself or if you do it with someone that just being cared for and watched over and to support you and encourage you, I guarantee you that you will think that it feels a lot easier. This is why coaching helps people so much. Coaching is so beneficial for people because you have somebody, not only do you have somebody with you along the ride, okay, along the way with you, but it's somebody who has done it before and it's somebody who has the result that you want. And they've already made the mistakes, and they're basically teaching you all the things what to do and what not to do. So not only do you feel socially resourced, not only do you feel like it's possible for you because you have somebody with you, but you're also doing it with somebody that's done it before, that's made the mistakes, and they've learned from it, and they've gotten the actual result that you want. So you're learning like quicker and faster and more efficiently. So are you gonna be able to do something hard by yourself? Yeah, you could do it, but it's probably going to take a little bit longer. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to have to learn from your own experience, and you've never done it before. So you're going to have a lot of trial and error, right? But if you're doing it with someone who has already done it and has the experience and has the result, like not only have they done it, but they succeeded at it and they have a really big success rate, you're going to want to do it with them. And so coaching, so not only are you doing coaching, right? Not only like when you're in a group coaching program, not only do you have the coach that has done it before, done it at a high level and succeeded, and they're teaching you all the ins and outs and what to do and what not to do, but you're resourced. You're doing it alongside with people that are supportive, encouraging, kind, and you're being able to see what they're doing too, and you're learning from them, and you're learning from your coach. So social baseline theory, what social baseline theory teaches us is that we have more internal capacity, we have more mental, emotional, and physical ability to do something when we do it in community, when we do it with another person. And it's almost like our brain views the resource of social resource, like another person, as if you have more internal capacity, because you're not going to have to use it as much. So I want to give you guys another example. If I am by myself and there is a bear near me and I'm going to have to fight this bear because it's going to attack me. I mean, I've never fought a bear, but let's just use that example. I'm going to think like, whoa, I've never done this. This bear is big, and it's going to be really difficult because not only have I never done it, but like, it seems like a really insurmountable task. Like, it's really big, right? So my brain and body are already like getting anxiety, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to work really hard. But if I am doing it with somebody, if I have a man next to me, if I have another woman next to me, and there's a bear, I'm going to automatically feel like, okay, well, by myself, maybe can't do it, or it's going to take a lot longer, or I'm going to get beat up, but maybe I can get away, I can outrun it. But if I have another person, automatically what happens is your body will automatically have less of a stress response because it has another person there, and it views another person as you having more capacity to get it done. And so you may use energy, but you're probably going to use a lot less. The brain and body looks at internal resource, but it also looks at external resources. So when you have external resources, it feels like you have more access, like you have more tools to help you. What are external resources? Other people, tools like a gun, a knife, a hammer, food, anything outside of you that you can use, right? Money is a really great resource, right? Because you can use money to get yourself the help, right? You can hire somebody, you can hire a coach, right? It's a great resource. You can use money to hire people to help you get things done, right? And then another resource is like, let's talk about internal resources. Like, you have your thoughts, your knowledge, like your wisdom, your ideas. That's a resource. You have your emotional capacity. So if you have a really strong skill of emotional regulation, if you know how to manage your emotions and process them really well, which by the way is one of the main things we teach you in Bloom, you will feel more internally resourced to do something hard. And then your physical capacity, like if you're strong, if you're healthy, if all your limbs work really well, if you're not sick, so if you have a lot of health, then you're going to feel more resourced to do that. Also, one of the other ways that you have more resources is if you're rested. So if you're like charged, think of like yourself like a cell phone, right? If you have no battery, you're going to feel like, I cannot run a mile. Like, are you kidding? That's impossible. If someone asks you to like babysit a triplet 5-year-olds, you're going to say, I have no capacity. My battery, I have no battery, right? But if you've been on vacation for 5 days and you just come back and you're so rested, resting is a way to build up your resources. You're going to say, 3 kids, come on, let's go. I'm ready. I'm so rested. You feel like you have more internal resource. So your internal resources and your external resources are so important to make you feel like you can do something that maybe you didn't feel like you could do before. And I believe that group coaching is a way for you to feel more internally resourced with your thoughts, your emotions, and your physical capacity, your knowledge, right? All those things. But if you do it with other people and then do it with a coach that has done this before, the chances of you succeeding are just so high. The chances of you getting the result that you want are so, so high. And if you work with a coach that has built in all the points in the program that where she feels like you could get stuck, if she has solutions for all those things, then your chances of success are just even higher, right? So using the resource of other people, connecting with other people to get something done that you've never done before, or that you've tried so many times and you've never been able to do it, is the probability or the success rate is so, so high because you're able to do it with other people. You have more capacity. Your brain already senses it as like, oh, I can get this done. I have Annabelle's help. I have all the women's help. I can ask questions, right? I have all of these workbooks and exercises. I have all the tools, all the videos. I have the Facebook group. I can ask questions anytime I want, right? I give you guys that example to paint the picture that when you do things in community, you feel a lot more able to get it done. For example, I'm a single mom and it's only me that takes care of like the financial overhead of my life, right? I have 3 daughters. I have one business where I work with a lot of people. So my financial resources, right? Money, that's one of the resources for me to do what I have to do in my life, take care of my babies, love them, take care of myself, take care of my older daughter, Alyssa. She's 22, but she still lives with me. To take care of everybody, I have to have a lot of resources, both internally and externally. So there's a lot of times that, like, not even a lot of times, one of the biggest things that I do to help myself as a single mom is I hire out. I have a housekeeper. We have landscapers, right? I ask people for help when I need a babysitter if I need it, right? I hire somebody that does all my grocery shopping, right? I'm Instacart drivers. That's something that I just don't find the value in spending my time doing, at least not right now. Maybe later I will. But right now, because I'm building I'm a busy, and running such a busy coaching business, there's things that I resource out, that I hire out, and I get people to help me. Even my little girls, right? They'll like help put their plate in the sink. Like they help me not have to clean up as much, right? So as a single mom, I have to do a lot myself. But if I was married and I had a partner, the things that I would do would be significantly less. Why? Maybe he has a job too. So he's bringing in more money. So I don't have to work as much. I don't have to work as hard. He's helping me with the kids. He's taking out the trash. He's, helping with the parenting. He's helping with the baths. He's helping with the homework with the kids. I would have so much more ability to rest, and I would have to use a lot less of my resources, my internal resources, maybe even my money, because I have somebody else helping me. And it's very similar to having a coach, right? And it's very similar to having other people help you in your community. I used to be so steadfast and prideful in asking for help because that was a really strong, big maladaptive behavior that I grew up believing, that I had this belief that nobody can help me. If I ask for help, it never comes. My mom and dad weren't there for me in the way that I needed them to be. So I learned by default, I have to do everything myself. But when I had the opportunity for somebody to help me, I try to take advantage of it. But even then I would sabotage it because I wouldn't let people in enough or close enough. I'd be like, I'm going to do it. No one's doing it right. Right. And so I would miss out on the opportunity to let people help me. Until I did a lot of this work, I was able to see that it's safe to ask for help. It's safe to be vulnerable. I didn't want to be vulnerable. That's why I never asked for help. It's safe to ask for help. It's safe to be in community. It's safe to let go control and see that when I do that, oh my gosh, the good things that happen when I invested in being vulnerable, letting go of control, asking for help, maybe even investing in I invested recently in an assistant, and my video editor, I've talked about this, letting go of that control was like everything for me. I've been able to rest more and focus on like my group coaching program, specifically growing my ability to earn more money because I'm working on a new group coaching program, which you guys, it's going to be amazing. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I literally have the ability to make more money and work less, because when you do group coaching, you can work less as a coach. That's for you coaches out there. So we tell ourselves a story that we have to do it by ourselves. We have to do it alone. It's not safe to ask for help. You have to be in control. No one else is going to do it right. You can't trust other people. These are all lies. They're all lies. And honestly, I believe it's a lie that like the enemy wants you to believe, because the enemy wants you tired. He wants you depressed. He wants you broke. He wants you sick. He wants you anxious. He wants you addicted. He wants you alone. When you ask for help, you're actually going to be in community. You're going to be supported. You're going to be seen. So people are going to be able to see if something's wrong. They're going to ask you for help. They're going to ask you if something's going on. And it's a lie. It's really a lie to give, like, that giving up control is going to hurt you. It actually doesn't. And I've learned, that's been the biggest lesson that I've learned this year, guys. The biggest message that I've had from God the past like 6 months, but more specifically the past 3 months, is invest and rest. And he's been telling me, invest in other people, invest in yourself, invest in asking for help, invest in paying for help. And that was a big thing for me. I was scared to do that because I'm a single mom. And the story that I had was, if I spend money, like, there's nobody there to help me, I'm going to go broke and die, and my kids are going to be homeless, and we're not going to have food, and I'm not going to be able to take care of my babies. But it was such a lie, you guys. And I didn't want to rest, because if I rested, I wasn't going to work. If I didn't work, I wasn't going to get money. And then the vicious cycle continues. But when I've been able to invest in myself, like literally invest money in asking for help, it has opened me up in a way that I can't even explain. No, I can't explain, actually. I've rested more. I feel happier. I feel healthier. I've met the most amazing people in all the communities that I've been in, because I've been investing in my coaching at a really high capacity this past quarter. I've met the most amazing coaches, the most amazing friends. I've been connected to the best church. Like, to say that I've grown and have had more help, and it's been safer and I've been happier, is an understatement. And I really want to submit to you today that if you're doubting that being vulnerable, or that asking for help, or that letting go of control, or investing in yourself is going to be hard, and bad things are just going to happen, I can see that, and I can see why you believe that. But what I want to submit to you is that this has been the story from your past, because in the past, that has been your experience probably. I mean, maybe when you did ask for help, it wasn't with the right people, or people did let you down. But what I'd like to offer is that when you are with a coach that really stems from deep service, deep work in integrity, and has like a really servant leadership heart, like myself, and has built in all the safety nets in the program to where you're not going to fall and you're not going to be left alone. You're not just a number. You're going to be supported. You're going to be seen. You're going to be loved. You're going to be given all the tools that you need to succeed, that you will have a different experience, and you're going to get the result that you want, that you come into. And I'll be really honest with you. When I meet with people on the clarity calls, when they ask to join Bloom, I will let you know right away, guys, if this program isn't for you. If your expectations are crazy high and you're not going to get what you want, like, I want to be a millionaire in 3 months. I mean, listen, I dream big, but I'll let you know if this program isn't for you. I don't just accept anybody in the program. Like, we are selective. We want this group to be intimate with great women that understand that they're responsible for their life, that are going to do the work and are committed to doing it. And I'll let you know if the program isn't for you. I'm not just going to be like, take your money and leave you alone and just throw you into the wolves. Like, it's just not like that. But I want to encourage you to see if you can have a different experience. See what it'll be like to be in a group program like this. A lot of you women have experiences where you don't trust women. A lot of you, I know I did. That was a big limiting belief of mine. I thought women were just going to F me over, and they weren't trustworthy. They were going to share my secrets, or they just, women weren't safe because because my mom, I didn't feel safe with my mother left that female belief about women not like hurting me. And then I'd been hurt by other friends and things like that. And a lot of you guys have been hurt by other women, whether it be like someone cheating or being with your boyfriend or your husband, or you've been hurt by a sister or a mother or an aunt or some other female. Your brain can make these predictions that it isn't safe to trust women, or it isn't safe to trust a coach. Maybe you worked in a program where it didn't work for you. That's so fair. It's so fair, especially because there are a lot of hurt people hurting other people. And what I would love to just impart on you is that I'm not one of those people. I'm not a hurt person that hurts people. I think if anything, I'm quite the opposite. You guys will be able to see next week during the launch, all the testimonials that I'm going to share, especially next week's episode, where I'm going to share all the testimonials of a lot of women that have been in the program. I'm going to read them to you and share them with you because I want you to see what their experience has been. And it's fair that you're making that prediction now because of your experience in the past, but this is a very, very different place. It's a place that I've curated myself. I'm proud of the women that I have in there. I want to make sure that if you join the program, that you are going to be kind and respectful and, just you're there to really heal for yourself and then support other women. And so I just want to invite you, if you're on the fence of joining Bloom and you want to, but the reason you're scared to maybe is because you don't think it's going to work for you, or you have these predictions that it's too scary to do it in a group setting or that women aren't safe. I want you to experience quite the opposite and really heal that wound and that prediction that you have in your heart and in your mind, because what I have seen it to be the complete opposite. I've met so many of the women in the program in person. I plan on having live events next year, you guys. It is going to be amazing. And I really want you to have another experience that is the opposite of what you've had in your past. So I hope this was helpful. I really want to impart on you the experience of working in community and how supportive it can be, how different it can be from your past, how different it could be from your past coaching experiences even, and how you can experience the growth, the support, the love, the community, the encouragement, the ability to be vulnerable and it be a really safe space, and the ability to get the result that you want, which is healing, which is success, which is confidence, which is self-love, which is the ability to trust other people and connect with other people to earn a lot of money. That's what's happening in Bloom, you guys. I can't wait for you guys to hear next week's episode and see everything that's going on, so that you can have a different experience and learn from that. And then you get to enjoy the fruits of your work and have the results that come from doing the Bloom program. So I hope this was helpful. I can't wait to meet a lot of you guys on the clarity calls that are happening next week when Bloom opens up, and then see you guys in the program, and then see you just blossom and bloom into the beautiful, perfect flower and woman that you are. If you're interested in joining Bloom right now, so if you're listening to this program right now, you can already book your clarity call. Okay, guys? The program is opening up next week, but I have it to where you can already book your clarity call now. The calendar's open so that I can start booking people, so I can start getting people on the calendar, I can start meeting with you guys, and I can start opening enrollment. So the official enrollment is December 6th, but you can start booking your clarity call now so you can not lose your spot, because I promise you guys, the spots are going to get taken up really quick. I'm only seeing X amount of people in December. I'm not working for 2 weeks in December. I want to try to jam pack it and work with as many as of you guys as possible, and meet with as many of you guys as possible on the clarity calls. Okay. I'm so excited for you guys to learn a little bit more about Bloom. Click the link in the show notes so you guys can look and learn more about what's going on in Bloom, what you can expect, what the program's like. And I can't wait to meet you on the clarity call and then see you in Bloom. All right. I'll see you guys next week.